I want to talk about whether PMO is really a solution to our problems. So, in order to get a good frame of mind, I want to talk about how you're a fish in water. If you are a heavy PMO user, you probably see PMO as a genuine solution to a lot of your problems. If you have a shitty feeling, say you go to the nightclub and you get rejected and you come back and you feel rejected, or say you just feel shit, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you think PMO would be a nice break, it would be a nice way to take the edge off, right? That's the way you think in your brain. Think about another vice or another thing that you could be doing that people do use to take away stress or negative emotion. Some people will wake up on the wrong side of the bed and they'll take a nice big toke of their vape, and that will be their thing. Or maybe it's weed, maybe it's a bong hit, or maybe it's alcohol. Some people do that. They wake up and they'll have a shot or they'll drink straight away in the morning. And it's a shameful thing that they hide, but they do it. Or junk food or coffee when you wake up in the morning. These are viewed as solutions. What will happen if you didn't do those? Would you die? Would you actually die? If you woke up in the morning, let's say you're a fat person, right? You wake up in the morning and you have junk food straight away just to take the edge off, and you believe it genuinely does take the edge off. If that fat person just didn't eat that junk food, would they die? Would it be the end of the world? No. If they believe they were addicted, they might feel deprived and they might feel as though they're missing out. That's the problem. Whereas if they have an open mind as to, oh, wait, I really genuinely don't need it and I might actually be a lot happier if I didn't, let me give myself that chance. Let me give myself that opportunity to experience this moment in time and see whether I'm genuinely happier and be open-minded to that possibility. When you're closed-minded to that possibility, when you're in the mindset of I'm addicted, now suddenly when you try to see if you could be happier in that moment, i.e. you just try and survive, you're going to feel like shit and it's going to reinforce the belief that you're addicted. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all about your framing of mind when you're going into it. Are you being open-minded to the possibility that you could be happier, genuinely, in not engaging in PMO, in those moments of stress, in those moments of boredom? Are you open to that possibility? Or are you fixed in your view such that if you don't PMO, you will be genuinely missing out on something that could actually really help you? The reason why I bring up things like junk food or cigarettes or alcohol first thing in the morning, for example, is because you can clearly see now from the outside. As I said, you're a fish in water because you're the heavy PMO user, right? But you're not a heavy eater, or you're not a heavy smoker, or you're not a heavy alcohol user, right? What you can therefore do is you can look at other people's vices and think how stupid it looks on the outside, which it does. I remember the other day I was at the bus stop and a guy, he was working at Tesco, and he came out of the Tesco, he came to the bus stop, and he had his vape out, and he was literally, he'd been working all day, clearly hadn't had a chance to vape all day. He come out of that bus stop and he's just smashing that vape, smashing it. And in my head, I'm thinking, good Lord, I could not imagine doing that. I've had the vape before and that shit gives me a headache. Oh, I was watching him doing it. I was like, good God, my friend, you really, how is that nice? But he views it as a solution. Similarly, if someone could hypothetically view you from a third person perspective, from a bird's eye view, and see you PMOing furiously, for lack of a better term, they would think, good Lord, what is this guy doing? And so what you can therefore do is you can be that third party. You can imagine, okay, I see this guy drinking a shitload, and you've been clubbing before, you've been to a pub before where someone's wankered and you're like, there's no way that guy's enjoying this. He is fucked. Like, I'd hate to be that guy right now. Or maybe you see someone smoking cigarettes, like, and you're like, good Lord, how on earth do you do that? Or you see someone, like, if you imagine someone eating like a whole packet of Haribos and just like smashing it down, you're just like, good Lord, that cannot be helping you. That's so insane. When you saw that, is going to open your mind now. Okay, maybe I'm that guy, but with PMO. Maybe I can actually be happier in the worst moments of stress. Think about it. In the worst moments of stress, in the worst moments of boredom, in the worst negative emotions, never will you think to yourself, I'm going to go to the shop and I'm going to smash a whole packet of Haribos. And even if you do, even if you are that guy, maybe you can't think about it in terms of cigarettes. You'd never think I'm going to go and chain smoke a fuckload of cigarettes. Or maybe if you are the smoker, you can't think about it with alcohol. There's something in your life that you cannot fathom that being a solution for that moment. You get it? So now take that mindset and come out of your own mind and look at yourself, bird's eye view, and think, okay, well, if I'm viewing myself from the outside, is my PMO actually genuinely helping me? Could I actually be helping myself more and be happier without it? And then give yourself that chance. And when you're open-minded like that and you're like, fuck, it's going to dawn on you when you realize, when you're in your worst moment of stress and you decide, I'm not going to PMO, but I'm not going to feel deprived about it. I'm going to see if I can genuinely be happier. When you have that open-minded, positively minded mindset of, can I be good in this moment? And you find out you are, it's going to flip. That's what's going to experientially show you that those worst moments, those bad moments, are not made better by PMO. You're actually better not PMOing. Mind blown. Mind blown, right? So, to recap, keep in mind other people and their vices. Someone who plays video games for 12 hours. Maybe you are that video game guy. If you are, fine. Think about the alcoholic. Think about the heavy smoker. Think about the drug addict. Think about the heavy food consumer. The one thing that you cannot wrap your mind around, that you would never view as a solution, even if you're in your darkest moment. And then imagine that someone who doesn't have the PMO problem is watching you use PMO, and consider that they're right. Consider that you're wrong from the inside. And consider that the person looking at you from the third party is right from the outside. And consider that whilst you're in that dark moment and you're viewing PMO as not a solution, you could and the possibility that you could genuinely be happier without it. This is how you're bringing yourself, instead of being a fish in water, you're now a kind of more objective viewer temporarily. And then when you experience that deep dark moment actually isn't made better by PMO and you're actually better off without it and you can deal with it just fine, well, suddenly the thing that you once viewed as a crutch isn't exactly a crutch anymore. You're like imagine you're a man who's had crutches his whole life, or who's been in a wheelchair, who suddenly just stands up and realizes he can walk. Get it? Get it? I'm going to spell this out more in the future, but I just wanted to make this a spontaneous vid. So this is all wrapped up in the freedom model stuff. Read the book, because that will open you up to these types of ideas, and that you can actually be happier without PMO, in the same way that an obese guy who views food as his only solution, if he suddenly realizes it's not that big of a solution, I'm actually fine without it, that weight is going to slide off, because he's just not going to view it as a solution anymore. I hope that's helped you a lot. Read TFM, link in the description, and then once you've read it and you've understood it, get in contact with me on Telegram, and I will help you talk about any of the other little kind of issues you want to clear up. And I'll do it for free for now, for the limited time, because I want to get good at coaching people, and ultimately I want to help just spread this message and help you guys out. So yeah, read that fucking book, man. Read the freedom model, and afterwards get in touch. That's it.